Hello and welcome to the website of Edison Investment Research. I'm joined by one of their analysts in the technology sector, Dan Ridsdale, here to talk about technology in a technology company. They're called Xaar. They make printer heads, and maybe my first question is, where's the technology in that?
Yeah, sure. It's actually a very highly developed area. If you think about a printing machine, it's the part that actually transfers the ink onto the substrate. It's the business end of a machine. It's where most of the IP actually lies. So it has to transfer ink onto a surface within very tight tolerances in terms of timing, in terms of position, in terms of volume. In actual fact, Xaar started life as an IP licensing business. It's a Cambridge business, and then subsequently transferred into a manufacturing model.
They are a UK company, but how much of their production is, typically being done abroad now? Is it the case of a manufacturer in the UK, but everything manufactured abroad?
Actually, the opposite. They've recently transferred most of their production to the UK from Sweden. More recently, they've built a manufacturing site in Cambridge, and that's actually where most of their manufacturing is done today.
So what would you say is driving growth at Xaar at the moment? Because it might be argued that it's a very mature market that they're in.
The printing industry is in itself pretty mature. Xaar's growth comes from various niches within the printing industry which transfer from analogue to digital technology. So right now ceramics is driving growth. The ceramics industry is adopting digital technology very quickly because it's no more expensive, but they can very quickly reduce their run lengths. It's a much more flexible process. So the business case for adopting digital in that industry is very, very obvious.
On the surface, it looks like quite a cyclical business because you've had margin expansion and also improved growth in the early to mid 2000s. That was followed by a trough, and now there's good growth, as you said again. I mean, as an investor, my fear obviously is that they might fall into another trough.
It's performed very well recently. I mean, it has had up cycles and down cycles, but more recently it's been growing at a strong double-digit rate. Earnings have been expanding very nicely. Again, that's driven really by one industry. It's driven mainly by the ceramics industry, but earnings growth is significantly exceeding sales growth as they get better overhead recovery on their fixed cost base.
So let's pull all that together. I'm an investor, either an institutional investor or a private investor. I'm looking at Xaar. What should I be thinking whilst I'm considering whether to invest in the operation?
I mean, I think there's a lot of upside potential in this company. There are risks around that at the moment. There's risks associated with it being very narrowly exposed to ceramics, and the economic climate is delicate. At the same time, this is a genuine UK manufacturing business with an awful lot of IP and lots of potential growth left in it through uptake of digital printing in different areas. So it's a proper technology company. It's got potentially a lot of growth left in it, and the valuation at 12.5 times next year's earnings looks pretty reasonable.
Well, Dan Ridsdale, technology expert and analyst here at Edison Investment Research, thank you for introducing us to the final points of Xaar. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.